Hi there, this is Kevin Borich. I'm here with Kris, and I'm here because of my new CD. I don't think you can see that on the radio. I use your imagination. There's only half of me there. All the other parts are by other people. A slightly schizophrenic album, I suppose you could call it. But anyway, nice to be here.
Thanks for joining us today, Kevin. Always a pleasure speaking with you, my friend.
Great. Good to see you, mate.
So, as you say, man, you released your latest album, Duets, a couple of weeks ago, mate. So, I know it hasn't been that long, but how's the early reception been?
It's been, amazing. I mean, it actually has charted too, which is something that I haven't really had since 1979 or something. And yeah, it got to #1 on their ARIA blues charts, or blues and jazz type charts, and so yeah, that was a great achievement, I guess. And the word's out, and the reviews we're having, and feedback from my social media and all that stuff is pretty amazing. And there's so many diverse sort of styles on the album. It's a smorgasbord, I think, of great fuel for people to eat up, and digest in your brains, and wonder how in the hell that happened. Yeah, it's just, there's plenty there. There's there's a bit, even a jazz type song, which is called Covered in Blue. I wrote about Amy Winehouse. Thought she was going off the rails, and she left us with blue. She took all her colors and died, and so that's no good. But I heard what she left was and then there's the heavy metal thing that's about the banks. How I have great distaste for the banking of the world. And I've done a song on Totem album, and it was a really beautiful song, but it was a bit chain ganging because we were kind of the slaves to them, And it had an upright bass, and I was playing the National Steel, an old 19th, and then Doc's band was playing some licks on the harp, and it was really like this. And that's okay. So that got released. But then a year or two later, Westpac got busted for charging dead people or doing something disgusting, And I just got really angry. Right? So I started to do a heavy metal version of that song. And I'm, who am I going to get this that? Well, the opening line is called light bulb moment at the moment. The opening line is, I'm angry, mad as I'll get angry to do it. Wow. What a perfect fit. So then the Chunder's in slightly different lyrics because they'd been busted and there'd been no royal commission about who was the naughty guy. No one had seemed to get busted. And even in the middle of around the guitar solo, there's a political guy that was on TV or was on the radio ranting. I think it's an ex-Labor guy, ranting about how the banks haven't been busted. So I recorded it, and I've got that in the actual solo. You could probably listen closely of him going, charging dead people and stuff. That's quite emotive.
And for those listening who haven't really got a clue what we're talking about yet, mate, like Duets is a special album in that each song is written and performed alongside different musical icons, such as Tim Rogers, as Leo Sayer, Ella Hooper, Suze DeMarchi, Ian Moss, Swanee, and plenty more, mate. So where did the idea to do that actually come from?
It came from, I had people, like Carlos had done one years ago, and, so it's they're sitting, but the songs that I'd written on piano, I'm not a great piano player, but things pop out, and it stirs your imagination and you keep chasing it. They were different songs that weren't conducive to the three-piece lineup that I've got, but they needed to be done, and we thought we'd do them what the song asked for, and that brought to the fact that I've got some R&B songs here, and I wanted a real soulful voice. So the first guy I thought of was Ian Moss. Plus, he plays great guitar, so the songs kind of were asking for stuff, and then that I couldn't give because I didn't have that. So the idea was to sort of team them up and get people to help me really get the song to its best.
So what was your selection process like when you're looking for people to collaborate with? Like, did you write the song with someone particular in mind and then ask them, or did you write the songs and just sort of try and
the songs ideas, some of them weren't finished, but they were little bits on my iPhone or something, and they present themselves, and then they asking to be finished, and so it was really organic the way it kind of happened. It was they were just popping up, and what I thought would suit worked, you know. So the songs had a lot to do with it, you know. They weren't finished, but they were in my pipeline, but not at the end, finishing end. They're at the beginning of the pipeline, and the idea was to sort of identify them and go, yeah, that could go with here, you know, sort of like that.
So did you actually finish writing songs with each individual artist, or did you finish them off?
I had them mostly finished, except for the one with Leo Sayer, which is Bring Love. It's called Bring Lovin' Back, but I didn't have a title for it, and it was like, maybe you could help me find a way. The chorus had the chorus, and then the verse had the chords, and the structure. But I didn't want it to be the boy-girl thing, because that's what it starts to be like. And I'm going, oh, well, you know, I've done about quite a few songs like that. Why don't I try and think of something bloody different? And I'm going, wow, well, who's faded away and hasn't? And I went, the peace sign. It's been, and you know, when I was in the 60s, you know, it was center stage, you know, peace, you know. So I was treating the peace sign like the reason for it, and but I didn't have the title, and I was I'd had the chorus, and I played it to Leo, and he was into doing it. So, and I said, mate, I'm come up against the wall here. You know, I don't want it to be a boy-girl thing. I told him about the peace sign idea. So, you know, he comes back a week later going, call it Bring Lovin' Back. And I went, a nice thing. So he wrote some great lyrics, and we went down to his place and recorded it. Nick came with me, my producer, and did all the engineering and stuff. So yeah, it just worked out like that, and it was and all the songs, all the other songs I pretty much had done. You know, even the one with Joe Walsh, you know, they were finished as tracks that were sent to them, and we played guitar and sung, because it's like tag team singing on most of them.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I do a line and a guest does a line, and some whatever suited. You know, like the Joe Camilleri with Joe, he did the second verse, which was great because in my sort of beginning of it, and then he takes it to another level. You know, so it was all different. What is it? All different but the same? Isn't that a stupid thing to say?
It is, but we'll run with it.
Well, you know, it all turned out to be on this thing here.
with your half a head on it.
Only half my head, but I didn't want to be too egotistical, you know.
It's a good looking half, mate. It's a good looking half.
You like the way I cut it down the middle? Nick did the artist.
I think the big question is, mate, like, did anyone knock you back? Like, was anyone out there game enough to say no to the great Kevin Borich?
Some were busy. I had a couple were busy. 2 passed away. I can't blame him for that one. It was Doug Parkinson and Renee Gayer. So yeah, there was 1 or 2. I think I only asked one other one. It was in the middle doing an album or something. Yeah. 2 were busy.
Not a bad strike rate, mate. It was a lot of work for you too, bro. Like, it took you several years to sort of complete it. So was there ever any stage where you thought that you'd bitten off more than you could chew? Like, thought maybe it was a little bit too ambitious?
That part of it was nothing to do with the music. It was more about when can we hook up and do it, and you know. And of course, we didn't get them all online straight away. It was all like Joe Camilleri and Ross Wilson were the last 2 guys that I could, you know, find and get. So yeah, that was the pressure of it was, you know, are we going to have anyone them at all, you know, as it started rolling. and of course, it was Russell Morris, who was a good friend, and he was Kev, you know. And once you got on side, and that was like, and people started hearing the quality of it. I guess that all helped, you know, get the barrow rolling, you know.
Yeah, I understand you had like there's a few different places you had to record to, like you recorded in green rooms or some after gigs, and you just did it in bedrooms, lounge rooms, hotels.
Yeah, it was great, and of course across the internet. And Suze DeMarchi did it while she was doing a Baby Animals album, and in a break, she just had the backing track that we'd sent, and she gave it to the engineer and said, "Can I do it there?" You know, so. And then, of course, Ian Moss was stranded in Noosa because there was, I think that was the lockdowns, and he was getting pretty bored, I think. So we asked him in a perfect time. So he just drove down here to my studio and this place where I'm sitting right now, and got downstairs and did his thing, and it was amazing.
Wow. And of course, it wasn't just singers on the album too. Like you say, like you've also got Joe Walsh and Ian Moss contribute guitars, and Joe Camilleri pops up on sax, Ross Wilson on the harp. So was there any guidelines or rules for those guys playing the instruments, or did they just come in and lay down what they wanted?
No, you know, people of that caliber, you respect. You're not going to, they hear it, and they've got the talent to morph their idea into it, which is enhancing. You know, there was no one doing something that wouldn't be acceptable. You know, you'll go free reign because they're that talented. You know, the only thing was that I changed one song, and it was Nick's suggestion that was one with Ella Hooper. I had already recorded it on a live album I did. It's called I'm Together, and it was like a shuffle, a blues shuffle, but it was a kind of an up-tempo blues shuffle. And he said, well, why don't you try doing it trad jazz? So we did, and with her voice, it really suits it. It just made probably where the song should have been originally. You know, that was the only one that was already written. The other one were all pretty new in the bag. Yeah.
So now the album's out, mate, and the work's done. Like looking back on it, are you satisfied with what you've achieved?
Yeah, I'm surprised. I'm really surprised at how great it is, really, and it's because of the way the people have really injected their talents into it. Really, that's what's serviced those songs to their max. I reckon. I don't think we could have done any better than what it is. So when even when you sit now and listen to it, you know, a lot of things I've done in the past, I would want to do again sometimes, but not this one. It's got the big stamp of approval.
It's got the official Kevin stamp of approval.
That's it. Pretty hard approval, mate, sometimes.
Is it something that you do again, mate, or is that sort of just something now you've done and you're going to put it on the shelf? And
I think we'll just leave it at that for the time being. We don't want to think ahead too far. Sort of like the politics. They only have 3 years of thinking, and then they just want to get back in. So, yeah, you know, it was a real challenge, but boy, it's just turned out so great, and the reaction that we're getting on the social media and stuff, because I'm having to really get stuck into that, but I'm not that good at it, but I'm getting help, so it's amazing what people are saying about it, and the different reasons that they are enjoying it, and the way they describe it is pretty touching, really, because and it's an emotional thing, because they're all my children, these songs in a way, and to see people get that much out of them is a reward, you know.
Did Kris and John play on this album too, or were they cast aside for other?
Yeah, they're on about 5 tracks. My son's playing on about 4.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so but they were on the rest. I think he's on 4 or 5. He had to do the jazzy one, brushes. He's the brush and got the upright bass, so it's real cool, man. You know.
Yeah, they are probably two of the coolest cats I've ever come across in the music industry. Those two.
Yeah, yeah, they are fantastic, and they're great human beings, and really helpful for me. You know, they both can drive. I've had drummers that don't drive, and they both drive, and they're willing to help, and the load-ins and all that stuff that we still do, because you know, gone are the days of the 6-ton truck and the 4 roadies that I had.
Yeah.
It's just that the music scene has suffered, you know, due to the apathy from the government, I reckon, because they just make it harder and harder for venues, and the poker machines didn't help, and you know, over time it just suffered. But we're always fighting back.
So, mate, the good guy can't keep the good guys down.
Yeah.
The drummers that can drive, mate. How's this for a story for you? Like, I looked after a band from the States a couple of weeks ago, and their drummer came out, didn't bring anything with him at all, didn't even bring his own drumsticks. We got the sound check for the first show, and he's got to sit up there and play drums, and I had to go scrounging through the band room and like looking under couches and shit, looking for a set of old drumsticks so he had something to do sound check with.
You're kidding. Well, where was the kit? What was he hitting?
We hired a kit for him, but didn't bring any hardware, which is fair enough. He's from overseas, but didn't even bring his own drumsticks. It's like I've seen it all with drummers, but he took the cake, that one.
Blimey. Yeah, drummers, they just turn up with the sticks, but yeah, when it's backline hired and stuff, so that's cool, you know.
Lucky you look good in a miniskirt, mate. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, that was a bit expected, wasn't it? He wants everything, and maybe you should have came nude.
And then I would have left, so it would have been trade off one for the other. You've just recently finished up a tour, mate, promoting this album. But have you got anything else planned? Like, I know you're a prolific live player, man. So what have you got around the corner? Well,
you know, there's songs that didn't make it or weren't suited for that. But I'm just going to keep my door open, the doors open for songs, and we've got some basic ones down already, and we've taken a break and doing what you have to do to promote this one, and we'll get back into the slot again, and hopefully come up with an album. You know, you're chasing something new, and something that. So that's what the door's open. You know.
Here's a question I don't pull out very often, mate. There's only very few people I ask this to, but you definitely qualify to be able to answer this one, mate. So you've had a great history in music, which is pretty stating the obvious. But one day when you do give it up, man, like, what do you hope to leave as your musical legacy?
Well, it's similar to what's happened with this album would be fantastic. And people who've enjoyed my stuff, a lot of people come up to me and say, well, I started playing guitar because I came to see you at a show, or I have people my age bring along their teenage or, you know, 20-year-old son or daughter, and they're enjoying the music. You know, I think the music will sort of be the legacy, and the fact that I did it up until my late years and still able to perform and do it should mean something to somebody. It's meaning a lot to me because I'm still able to do it. I mean, you know, a human's not going to last forever, and you know, it's all on the hill from on physically, and until we turn to dust. But, you know,
ashes to ashes.
I'm you know, got to still some lube left, you know.
And have you got any local gigs coming up, Ray? I'm living just around the corner from you now. I'm at Redcliffe. So you got anything?
Really?
Anything coming up around this way soon?
Well, it's down in New South Wales. It's in September. September. Gee, I don't know what the date is. It's at the RSL, and it's for the Blues club down there. So it's September on a Sunday. I can't remember what I haven't got in front of me. I should have it, but. Sorry about that, but yeah, it's on my website.
Right on. Check it out, mate. I'll come along anyway. Next time you're in the general vicinity, I'll pop along and catch up.
Yeah, we'll be sort of, you know, I went to Melbourne and it was really cold down there. So,
I hate it down there.
And I was, you know, I remember out loading once in a winter, and I swore to myself, I'm never coming down again in winter. And there I was down in Melbourne in winter. It was because the album got put back. Well, we were waiting to be able to get more people, and it just got put back the tour. So yeah, it was very cold, and people. I don't particularly want to go out when it's really cold.
I'm cold, mate. I whinge and whinge when it's cold.
I put the whinge muffler on,
Sure. Okay, well, thanks very much for your time today, mate. It's been a pleasure as usual. The album Duets is out now at all good outlets and online on all the socials, I believe. And trust me when I say she's an absolute pearler of an album, mate. Congratulations. And
oh yeah, I got to mention too that see this version here, which was a 12-page booklet, was like $49, but we've just got a new $20 version coming out, which is just it opens out. It's much more affordable for folks, so $20, and you can go to my website, and there's a pre-sales going on right now, and they'll be delivered any day.
So www.kevinborich.com.
Yeah, and then there's a link there. You go to it, hit that, and it'll only be $20 this time.
I'll put the link up with the article when I publish it, and see if we can push a bit of traffic your way.
Great, fantastic, mate.
All right, man. Well, good to talk to you, mate. Good to see your smiling face again, brother.
Good on you, Kris.
And I'll catch up with you hopefully soon.
Thanks very much for your help, buddy.
Take care, bro.
Bye.